Have you ever wondered why so many people chase success, recognition or approval from others, but still end up feeling empty? Why is it that someone can achieve external wins, money, status, relationships, yet deep down they still feel unfulfilled? The answer is simple but profound. They never learned to focus on themselves first. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is essential. It means building the inner foundation of discipline, clarity, health, and confidence, so that when you step into the world, you're not running on empty. You're overflowing with strength, purpose, and self-respect. The truth is, when you neglect yourself, you can't truly show up for others. You can't lead effectively. You can't love fully. And you can't perform at your highest potential. That's why the starting point for all achievement, happiness, and freedom begins with one powerful shift: prioritizing yourself. This audiobook will guide you through the mindset, strategies, and daily practices to transform the way you see yourself and the world. By the end, you will understand why the greatest victories in life are always won on the inside before they ever appear on the outside. Chapter 1. The foundation of self-priority. The most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. Before you can win in business, relationships, health, or any area of life, you must first learn how to win internally. This means treating yourself as the most valuable investment you'll ever make. Too often, people are taught to prioritize others at their own expense. They give away their time, their energy, and their focus, hoping that by pleasing others they'll find meaning or validation. But here's the harsh truth: if you don't fill your own cup first, you'll eventually run dry. 1. The misconception of selfishness. Many of us grow up believing that focusing on ourselves is selfish. We're told to sacrifice, to put others before us, to give until there's nothing left. While generosity and service are important, doing them without first curing your own foundation only leads to burnout, resentment, and emptiness. Think about it this way: a plane safety briefing always instructs passengers to put on their own oxygen mask before helping others. Why? Because without oxygen, you can't help anyone else. The same principle applies to life. You must secure your own strength first. 2. Self-respect sets the standard. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. If you constantly neglect your own needs, tolerate disrespect, or dismiss your goals, people around you will mirror that behavior. On the other hand, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, prioritizing your health, respecting your time, investing in your growth, you communicate silently to the world: this is how I deserve to be treated. Self-respect is not loud. It doesn't boast or demand. It is steady, quiet, and unshakable. It radiates through your actions, your discipline, and your boundaries. 3. The power of boundaries. Focusing on yourself requires clear boundaries. Without them, your time, energy, and focus are constantly drained by the demands of others. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They allow in what nourishes you and block out what weakens you. When you say no to what doesn't align with your values, you are saying yes to what truly matters. Every successful person understands this principle. Their focus is sacred. Their time is non-negotiable, and their energy is preserved for what fuels growth. 4. The inner bank account. Think of yourself as having an inner bank account of energy, confidence, and mental clarity. Every time you neglect your needs, you make a withdrawal. Every time you invest in yourself, through learning, exercise, rest, reflection, you make a deposit. Most people are overdrafting their inner account, running on fumes while giving everything to others. The winners in life are those who constantly refill their account, ensuring they are always operating from abundance rather than scarcity. 5. Practical ways to focus on yourself first. Start your day with, before checking messages, emails, or social media. Spend time on your mind and body. Journal, meditate, move or learn. Protect your time. Treat your personal development time as an unbreakable appointment. Invest in growth, read books, take courses or find mentors who expand your thinking. Prioritize health. Exercise and proper nutrition aren't optional. They're the foundation of everything else. Silence the noise. Spend time alone to reflect, set goals and realign with your purpose. The ripple effect of self-focus. When you focus on yourself first, something incredible happens. You become more valuable to others. A strong, confident and balanced version of you shows up at work, in relationships and in the world with greater presence, creativity and resilience. You no longer help others out of obligation or emptiness, but out of genuine strength and abundance. By prioritizing yourself, you actually multiply the positive impact you have on those around you. Chapter 2. Building inner strength before external success. Success is not built on luck, shortcuts or external opportunities. It is built on inner strength. Before you can win in business, relationships or personal goals, you must master your mindset, discipline and self-awareness. This chapter explores how to build unshakable inner strength that becomes the foundation for every victory in life. Why inner strength matters more than external skills. You can have the best strategies, the smartest ideas, and the most valuable opportunities, but if your inner world is weak, none of it will matter. Imagine building a skyscraper on shaky ground. No matter how beautiful or tall it looks, it will eventually collapse. Inner strength is the ground on which success is built. It gives you the ability to handle pressure, bounce back from failure, and stay disciplined even when motivation fades. Without it, you will constantly sabotage yourself, or depend too heavily on external validation. The truth is, most people fail, not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack the mental, emotional, and spiritual strength to handle the opportunities they already have. The 3 pillars of inner strength. To win by focusing on yourself first, you must strengthen 3 core areas. Mental strength. Mental strength is your ability to think clearly, resist distractions, and maintain focus. In a world full of noise, notifications, opinions, endless comparisons, mental strength is rare and valuable. You build it by challenging your mind with learning and problem solving. The emotional strength. Emotional strength is your ability to regulate your feelings instead of being controlled by them. Weak people are slaves to their emotions. They quit when discouraged, lash out when angry, or give up when fearful. Strong people acknowledge their emotions, but act based on principles, not moods. You build it by, if it is weak, tired or neglected, your mind and emotions will also suffer. Energy, stamina, and physical health directly fuel your success. You build it by prioritizing exercise, even simple daily movement, eating foods that energize instead of drain you, resting properly to recharge your system. Together, these 3 pillars form the foundation of inner strength. Without them, your outer world will always remain unstable. 3. The silent enemy, neglecting yourself. Neglecting yourself doesn't always look like laziness. Sometimes it looks like constant busyness, chasing goals, helping everyone else, or working non-stop while forgetting to nurture your own inner world. This silent enemy eventually leads to self-doubt because you lose touch with who you really are. Neglect is dangerous because it is subtle. It whispers, "I'll take care of myself later," but later never comes. Winners recognize this trap and refuse to postpone self-care and personal growth. Discipline. The root of self-focus. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. It means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, because you know it will lead to long-term rewards. Most people wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. Discipline carries you when motivation disappears. Focusing on yourself first means committing to daily habits and standards that strengthen your mind, body, and spirit. Ask yourself, am I controlling my habits, or are my habits controlling me? Do I choose temporary comfort, or do I choose long-term growth? Am I building discipline daily, or am I letting excuses win? Every disciplined choice deposits strength into your inner bank account. Over time, this becomes your competitive edge in every area of life. Self-awareness, the mirror of growth. You cannot win if you do not know yourself. Self-awareness is the ability to see your strengths, weaknesses, and patterns honestly. Without it, you will repeat the same mistakes, blame others, and remain stuck. Practical ways to grow self-awareness. Nanowing. Writing your thoughts reveals hidden patterns. Reflection. Taking time daily to ask, what did I learn today? How did I react? What can I improve tomorrow? Feedback. Listening to constructive criticism, without defensiveness. The more you understand yourself, the more control you have over your decisions, actions, and results. 6. The power of saying no. Focusing on yourself first requires courage to say no. Every yes you give drains your time, energy, or focus. If you say yes to everything, you say no to your own growth. Strong people are not afraid to disappoint others in order to stay aligned with their vision. They understand that protecting their inner world is more important than pleasing everyone. Remember, every no to distractions is a yes to yourself. Devon. From inner strength to outer results. When you build inner strength, outer success becomes inevitable. Opportunities come and go, but your ability to handle them depends on your foundation. Mental strength allows you to stay consistent when others quit. Emotional strength allows you to lead calmly in chaos. Physical strength gives you energy when others are exhausted. Discipline ensures you move forward daily, regardless of circumstances. Self-awareness helps you correct mistakes faster and smarter. This is why some people keep rising no matter what life throws at them. Because their inner strength is their greatest asset. The challenge of Chapter 2. To internalize this lesson. Commit to this challenge. Out there. Spend 7 mornings starting your day with you, before phone calls, social media, or work. In those mornings, do 3 things. Move your body, write down your thoughts, and set one priority for the day. Track how you feel after 1 week compared to when you started. This challenge may seem simple, but it plants the seed of discipline, clarity, and self-prioritization. Chapter 3. Mastering the art of self-confidence. Self-confidence is not arrogance. It is not pretending to be something you're not. True self-confidence is an unshakable belief in your own worth, capabilities, and potential, even when the world doubts you, criticizes you, or overlooks you. In this chapter we will explore how self-confidence is built, why most people struggle with it, and how you can cultivate it so powerfully that it transforms every area of your life, your work, your relationships, and even your happiness. The foundation of self-confidence. Many people believe that confidence comes from achievements, wealth, or recognition. They think, I'll be confident once I have the perfect job, the perfect body, or the perfect relationship. But this is a trap. Real confidence is not built on external achievements. It's built on internal security. It comes from knowing that even if everything was stripped away, your money, your position, your titles, you would still have worth. Confidence grows from within. It's a seed planted in how you see yourself, nurtured by your habits, and protected by the way you speak to yourself daily. 2. Why most people lack confidence. Confidence doesn't fail because people are incapable. It fails because people compare, doubt, and criticize themselves endlessly. Here are the biggest enemies of confidence. Comparison. Constantly measuring yourself against others makes you blind to your own unique value. Perfectionism. Believing you must be flawless before starting keeps you paralyzed. Fear of judgment. Worrying about what others think silences your true voice. Negative self-talk. The inner critic kills more dreams than failure ever will. Until you confront these enemies, you will always feel small even if you achieve big things. 3. Rewriting the story you tell yourself. The most powerful voice in your life is not from your parents, friends, boss, or partner. It is your own. Think about it. When you face a challenge, what do you hear in your head? Do you hear, "You're not good enough"? Or do you hear, "You can figure this out"? Confidence begins with the language you use with yourself. If your self-talk is constantly negative, you'll never rise beyond it. But if you learn to replace destructive words with empowering ones, you rewire your entire mindset. Practical step. Instead of "I always fail," say "I'm building strength through challenges." Instead of "I'm not ready," say "I'll grow as I go." This simple shift may sound small, but over weeks and months it builds the foundation of unstoppable confidence. The confidence action loop. Here's a truth most people miss. Confidence is built by action, not before action. People wait to feel confident before taking the leap, whether it's speaking in public, starting a business, or asking for an opportunity. But confidence doesn't come first. Action does. Think of it as a loop. You take action despite fear. You gain experience from the action. You build evidence that you can handle it. Your confidence grows. Repeat this loop often enough, and soon the things that once terrified you become natural. Real-life example. A young woman terrified of public speaking started by speaking for 2 minutes in front of 5 colleagues. She was nervous, but she did it anyway. The next time, she spoke for 5 minutes to a bigger group. Then 10 minutes. Over time, what once made her sweat and shake became her greatest strength, because she acted first and confidence followed. Confidence and the power of boundaries. One of the clearest signs of low confidence is the inability to set boundaries. When you constantly say yes to things you don't want to do, you weaken your own self-respect. Confident people protect their time, energy, and value. They know that every yes to the wrong thing is a no to themselves. Practical boundary shifts. Stop apologizing for everything. Reserve apologies for true mistakes. Learn to say no thank you without guilt. Protect time for your growth, even if others don't understand. Boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary for confidence to grow. 6. Body language. Confidence. You can wear. Before you even speak a word, people judge your confidence by your body language. The way you stand, walk, and hold yourself sends powerful signals. Small but powerful changes to practice daily. Keep up, stand tall with shoulders back. Maintain eye contact without being aggressive. Use slower, steady movements instead of rushed, jittery ones. Smile. Not forced but relaxed and genuine. Your body communicates before your words do. When you carry yourself with strength, people begin to treat you as strong, and your confidence rises to match. 7. Self-confidence in the face of failure. Failure is inevitable, but the difference between confident people and insecure people is how they interpret it. Insecure people see failure as proof they are worthless. Confident people see failure as feedback for growth. Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail 1,000 times while inventing the light bulb. He discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. That mindset is confidence in action. Confidence is not the absence of failure. It is the refusal to let failure define you. 8. The role of preparation. Confidence doesn't mean winging everything in life. Preparation is one of the greatest confidence builders. If you're giving a presentation, rehearse until it feels natural. If you're going for an interview, research until you know the company better than the interviewer. If you're starting a business, learn your industry deeply before you launch. The more prepared you are, the less room fear has to control you. Preparation turns anxiety into calm authority. 9. Confidence in relationships. Confidence doesn't just affect your career. It affects your relationships. People with low confidence often settle for less, tolerate toxic behavior, or lose themselves in others' approval. Confident people, however, attract healthier relationships, view their truth without fear of rejection, refuse to settle for disrespect. Confidence in relationships means knowing your worth and not being afraid to walk away when it is not honored. Daily habits to build self-confidence. Confidence is not built in a single moment. It is built daily through consistent habits. Here are 5 to start immediately. Affirmations with action. Speak positively about yourself, but back it up with small wins daily. Accomplish little tasks that remind you of your capability. Step outside your comfort zone. Even in small ways, practice courage. Limit toxic inputs. Avoid environments, people and media that drain your belief. Track progress. Write down achievements to remind yourself how far you've come. Say 11. Case study. The quiet transformation. Consider the story of James, a shy university student who avoided social events because he believed he was awkward. One day, he decided to make a small shift. Each week he would start one conversation with a stranger. At first his voice shook, his palms sweated, but he kept going. After a month he could hold short conversations without panic. After 6 months he was joining debates and even leading student groups. His secret: he didn't wait for confidence to appear. He built it step by step. What once felt impossible became his strongest asset. The challenge of Chapter 3. For the next 30 days, commit to the confidence action loop. Choose one area where fear has been holding you back. Speaking up, networking, applying for opportunities, or sharing your work, and take one small action daily in that direction. At the end of 30 days, reflect: did your confidence grow? Did the fear shrink? The answer will surprise you. Chapter 4. Building unshakable resilience in life. Resilience is the quiet strength that keeps you moving forward when everything around you screams, give up. It is not about avoiding pain, failure, or disappointment. It is about facing them head on, learning from them, and coming out stronger on the other side. Most people believe success belongs to the smartest, the richest, or the most connected. But in truth, success belongs to the most resilient, the people who refuse to quit no matter how many times they are knocked down. 1. What resilience truly means. Resilience is often misunderstood as toughness. Toughness suggests rigid strength, something that doesn't bend, but rigid things break under pressure. Resilience, on the other hand, is flexible strength. Like bamboo, it bends with the storm, but never snaps. True resilience is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging difficulties, feeling the weight of them, but still choosing to stand back up. 2. The psychology of resilience. Science shows that resilient people don't escape pain. They interpret it differently. Psychologists call this cognitive framing. The average person thinks, this challenge is proof that I'm weak. The resilient person thinks, this challenge is proof that I'm growing. The situation is the same. The difference lies in the interpretation. Your mind is a lens. If you train it to see setbacks as stepping stones, nothing can break you. 2. The myths that keep people fragile. Many people fail to build resilience because they believe in destructive myths. Myth 1. Life should be easy. Reality. Life was never designed to be easy. Struggle is not a punishment. It is preparation. Myth 2. Strong people never feel pain. Reality. Strong people feel pain deeply, but they use it as fuel instead of letting it define them. Myth 3. Resilience means facing challenges alone. Reality. True resilience is not isolation. It is leaning on healthy support systems while standing firm in your own power. Resilience in action. Real-world examples. History is full of stories of resilience that shaped the world. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, but emerged not bitter, but stronger, ready to lead South Africa into a new era. Oprah Winfrey rose from poverty, abuse and rejection to become one of the most influential women on earth. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." These people were not born extraordinary. They built extraordinary resilience through choices, discipline, and perspective. 5. How to train your mind for resilience. Resilience is not a gift, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. Here are practical ways to do it. Practice controlled discomfort. Step into situations that challenge you. Wake up earlier. Train harder. Take on tasks that scare you. Discomfort today builds resilience tomorrow. B. Reframe failures. Instead of asking why me, ask, what is this teaching me? This small shift rewires your brain to treat obstacles as lessons. C. Develop emotional endurance. When things get tough, don't rush to escape the feeling. Sit with discomfort. Breathe through it. Remind yourself that emotions are temporary waves. They always pass. Build spiritual or mental anchors. Prayer, meditation, journaling, or affirmations act as anchors in chaos. They remind you that storms are temporary, but your inner compass is permanent. 6. The connection between resilience and success. Every success story is at its core a resilience story. People who achieve great things simply fail more, recover faster, and keep going longer than others. Think about business. Most entrepreneurs fail multiple times before building their overnight success. Think about sports. Champions train for years, enduring injuries and losses, before holding a trophy. The world rarely rewards talent alone. It rewards endurance. 7. Building physical habits that support resilience. Resilience is not only mental, it's also physical. When your body is strong, your mind is stronger. Exercise regularly. Physical stress builds mental tolerance. Eat for energy, not comfort. Junk food weakens your focus and mood, while proper nutrition sharpens it. Prioritize rest. Lack of sleep breaks your resilience faster than failure ever will. Your body is the engine of your resilience. Treat it like one. 8. Resilience in relationships. Resilience also applies to how you deal with people. Relationships will test you. Betrayals, disappointments, misunderstandings. Without resilience, you'll carry bitterness that poisons your future. But resilient people forgive, not because others deserve it, but because they deserve peace. Communicate firmly without letting emotions control them. Know when to walk away from what no longer serves their growth. Relationships require the same resilience as careers. Without it, you remain trapped in cycles of pain. Turning pain into purpose. Perhaps the greatest resilience is the ability to transform pain into purpose. Many of the world's greatest leaders, innovators, and creators turned personal struggles into fuel for service. Survivors of tragedy become advocates for change. People who faced rejection create platforms for inclusion. Those who endured hardship inspire others by showing what is possible. Resilience is not just surviving pain. It's using it to build something greater. The daily practice of resilience. Resilience is not built in crisis. It is revealed in crisis, which means you must build it daily, in the small choices. Wake up when you said you would. Keep promises to yourself. Push through the last rep at the gym. It's your truth, even when your voice shakes. These small acts of discipline build the inner armor you will need when life hits harder. Case study. The athlete who refused to break. Consider the story of Sarah, a young athlete who tore her ACL months before the biggest tournament of her life. Doctors said recovery would take a year, meaning her dream was over. But Sarah decided differently. With relentless therapy, visualization, and discipline, she returned to competition in just 8 months. Not only competing but winning. Her secret: she never asked why me. Instead she asked what now. That is resilience. Your resilience challenge. For the next 21 days, commit to a resilience ritual. Every day, do something uncomfortable. Wake up earlier. Have a tough conversation. Push harder in your workout. Or face a fear. Journal how you feel afterward. Over time you'll notice something incredible. You don't break as easily. Challenges that once crushed you will begin to look small. Chapter 5. The Power of Focus and Discipline. Resilience keeps you standing when life knocks you down. But resilience alone is not enough. To transform potential into reality, you need focus. The ability to channel your energy toward what truly matters. And discipline. The daily practice of showing up whether you feel like it or not. This chapter will take you deep into the art of sharpening your attention, eliminating distractions, and building the kind of discipline that separates dreamers from achievers. 1. Why focus is the new superpower. We live in the noisiest era of human history. Notifications, endless entertainment, constant demands for attention. Distraction is everywhere. In fact, studies show the average person's attention span has shrunk dramatically in the last 20 years. This means focus has become rare, and in a world where most people are distracted, the person who can stay locked in on one thing for a long time has a huge advantage. Focus is not about doing more, it's about doing fewer things, but doing them with intensity and excellence. The psychology of focus. Focus works like a spotlight. Wherever you direct it, energy flows. But here's the catch. You can't shine the spotlight on everything at once. Scatter it too widely, and you weaken its power. Concentrate it, and it becomes unstoppable. That's why successful people don't try to master everything. They identify the few key areas that matter, and they go deep. Ask yourself, what truly deserves my focus right now? If you can answer that question daily, you will outperform those who chase everything but master nothing. Discipline. The bridge between goals and results. Dreams inspire, plans guide, but only discipline delivers. Discipline is the act of showing up consistently, even when the excitement fades. Think about it. Anyone can start a diet on Monday, but only discipline keeps it alive on Friday night when pizza shows up. Anyone can create a business plan, but only discipline keeps them working when no one believes in their idea. Anyone can set goals, but only discipline makes them reality. Discipline is doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. 4. Why motivation alone fails. Many people rely on motivation to get things done. But motivation is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. Some days you feel inspired, other days you feel tired, stressed, or lazy. If your success depends on how you feel, you will never be consistent. That's why discipline is stronger than motivation. It doesn't care how you feel. Motivation might get you started. Discipline keeps you going when motivation disappears. 5. The science of habit and discipline. Discipline isn't about willpower alone. Willpower is limited. It runs out. Instead, discipline comes from systems and habits that make success automatic. Here's how to build it. Accio. Set a trigger. Example. Put your running shoes by the bed. Routine. Do the behavior. Go for the run. Reward. Celebrate progress. Even a small pat on the back reinforces the habit. When habits take over, discipline becomes effortless. The enemies of focus and discipline. To master these qualities, you must first recognize their enemies. Distractions, endless scrolling, gossip, multitasking, laziness disguised as busyness, doing small, easy tasks instead of the hard, meaningful ones, excuses, I'll do it later, I don't have time, or I'll start next week, inconsistency, doing things intensely for a short time, then quitting when it gets boring. These enemies steal years from your life if you don't fight them. 7. Practical tools to strengthen focus. Here are strategies to sharpen your mental spotlight. Accio. Time blocking. Dedicate set hours to one task only. No distractions allowed. Pomodoro technique. Work 25 minutes. Rest 5. Repeat. This trains the brain for deep work. Digital fasting. Remove social media or apps during work hours. Prioritization. Each morning write down the 3 most important tasks and finish them before touching anything else. Small tweaks like these multiply your focus. The daily practice of discipline. Discipline is not built overnight. It is forged in repeated choices. Totia. Choosing to wake up with the alarm instead of snoozing. Choosing to work when others complain. Totin. To keep promises you make to yourself. The more often you keep small commitments, the stronger your discipline muscle grows. They wake up at the same time every day, train with intensity, and follow orders with precision, even when tired, even when discouraged. Why? Because discipline is survival. When they leave the military, many veterans succeed in business and leadership, because discipline has been hardwired into their mindset. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on systems, routine and inner strength. The power of saying no. Focus and discipline are not only about what you do, they're also about what you refuse to do. Every yes to distractions is a no to progress. Every yes to unimportant tasks is a no to your dream. Confident, disciplined people protect their time with courage. They are not afraid to say, "No, I'm not available. No, that's not aligned with my goals. No, I won't sacrifice my health for short-term comfort." Saying no is not weakness. It's focus in action. Focus. Discipline. A freedom. Here's the paradox. Discipline might feel restrictive at first, but in reality, it creates freedom. Discipline with money leads to financial freedom. Discipline with time leads to freedom from stress. Discipline with health leads to freedom from disease. Without discipline, you're a slave to distractions, bad habits and regret. With discipline, you own your future. 12. Your challenge for Chapter 5. For the next 30 days, eliminate one major distraction that wastes your time. Track your progress. By the end of 30 days, you'll see the incredible compounding power of focus and discipline. Chapter 6. Mastering yourself. The ultimate key to freedom. You can't control the world. You can't control other people. You can't even control the economy, the weather, or what happens tomorrow. But there is one thing you can control: yourself. Self-mastery is the foundation of everything. Without it, focus fades, discipline cracks, and potential dissolves into frustration. But with it, you can walk through life with unshakable confidence, because no matter what happens outside, you know how to command what happens inside. This chapter is not just about discipline or habits. It's about becoming the kind of person who can rise above impulses, emotions and distractions, to live with purpose. The ancient idea of self-mastery. Thousands of years ago, philosophers already understood that the greatest victory is not over others, but over oneself. The Greek philosopher Plato taught that the soul has 3 parts: desire, spirit and reason. Self-mastery meant letting reason lead instead of letting desire or anger control you. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, practiced emotional self-control. They believed true power is staying calm while the world around you is in chaos. In the East, Buddhist teachings stressed mastering the mind through meditation and awareness. freeing oneself from attachment and suffering. Across cultures, the wisdom is the same. Control yourself, and you control your destiny. Why self-mastery is rare today. Modern life makes self-mastery harder than ever. Think about it. Endless fast food tempts us away from health. Social media triggers constant comparison and emotional reactions. A culture of comfort first makes discomfort look like punishment. Most people are slaves to their impulses without even realizing it. They don't choose, they react. That's why mastering yourself is like discovering a hidden superpower in today's world. The 3 pillars of self-mastery. To master yourself, you must gain control over 3 domains. Your thoughts, because what you think shapes your reality. Your emotions, because feelings, if uncontrolled, can destroy focus and discipline. Your actions, because what you repeatedly do creates your life's results. Let's dive deeper into each. Pillar 1. Mastering your thoughts. Your mind is a battlefield. Negative thoughts, doubts and mental noise constantly fight for attention. Self-mastery begins by noticing your thoughts and choosing which ones to feed. Awareness practice. Spend 10 minutes daily observing your thoughts. Without judgment, notice how many are automatic, negative or unhelpful. Thought replacement. Every time a limiting belief surfaces, like "I can't do this," replace it with a chosen belief. "I am capable of learning." Mental diet. Just as you avoid junk food, avoid mental junk gossip, toxic news or environments that poison your mind. Control your thoughts, and you rewrite your reality. Pillar 2. Mastering your emotions. Most people let emotions control them. Anger leads to regret, fear paralyzes them, and sadness makes them quit. But emotions are signals, not commands. Self-mastery means feeling emotions fully, but responding wisely. Pause before reaction. When triggered, take 5 deep breaths before responding. This gap is where mastery lives. Label your feelings. Studies show simply naming your emotion, "This is frustration," reduces its power over you. Channel energy. Anger can fuel discipline in the gym. Fear can fuel preparation. Joy can fuel creativity. Emotions don't have to be enemies. When mastered, they become allies. Pillar 3. Mastering your actions. Your thoughts and emotions influence you, but only actions shape your reality. Self-mastery means acting in alignment with your values, not just your feelings. Set standards, not moods. Don't wait until you feel like working, studying, or exercising. Set standards and follow them regardless of mood. Small wins first. Start with small, daily victories, like making your bed, reading 10 pages, or working out for 50. These micro-disciplines build momentum. Long-term consistency. It's not what you do once in a while that defines you. It's what you repeat for years. Master your actions, and your life bends to your will. The enemies of self-mastery. To strengthen self-mastery, you must defeat its biggest enemies. Instant gratification. The craving for pleasure now instead of rewards later. Excuses. Clever lies you tell yourself to avoid hard work. Comfort addiction. The modern disease of avoiding anything uncomfortable. Ego. The part of you that resists growth because it doesn't want to be wrong. Each of these is a trap. Without awareness, they quietly steal decades of progress. Tools to build self-mastery. Here are proven methods to strengthen your control over yourself. Meditation. Trains awareness and calm under stress. Cold exposure, like cold showers, builds tolerance for discomfort. Journaling. Helps process thoughts and emotions conscious. Fasting, food or digital. Strengthens willpower by practicing restraint. Accountability. Share goals with someone who will keep you honest. Each practice is a workout for your inner strength. The science of self-control. Neuroscience reveals that self-mastery is not mystical. It's biological. The prefrontal cortex front of the brain controls decision-making and discipline. The amygdala controls emotional reactions like fear and anger. Practicing self-control strengthens the prefrontal cortex, giving you more command over impulses. In other words, the more you practice mastery, the stronger your brain becomes at handling challenges. Case studies of self-mastery. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, yet never let bitterness destroy his vision. He mastered his emotions and became a global symbol of peace. Serena Williams, years of discipline, emotional control, and relentless training made her one of the greatest athletes of all time. Ordinary people, anyone who wakes up early, refuses junk food, studies daily, or resists quitting, is practicing self-mastery. Greatness is not about talent. It's about mastering yourself when it's hardest. Self-mastery and freedom. Here's the paradox. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want. But true freedom is the ability to control yourself so you are not enslaved by cravings, laziness or anger. The smoker is not free. He's addicted. The person who can't stop scrolling is not free. He's trapped. The one who controls their habits, emotions and mind, that person is free. Self-mastery is the highest form of freedom. The daily practice of self-mastery. To make mastery a lifestyle, start the day with intention. Decide how you will think, act and feel. Face discomfort. Do at least one thing daily that challenges you. Reflect at night. Ask yourself, did I control myself today or did impulses control me? Repeat this daily, and self-mastery compounds into greatness. 10. The 30-day mastery challenge. Remove one unhealthy routine and replace it with a positive one. Week 3. Control your emotions. Practice pausing before reacting in tough moments. Week 4. Control your environment. Eliminate one major distraction and replace it with something that builds you. By the end of 30 days you won't just be stronger, you'll be transformed. Chapter 6. Closing insight. Self-mastery is not about perfection. It's about progress. Every day you win a small battle against your impulses. You build the unshakable inner power that no one can take from you. Chapter 7. From self-mastery to influence, leading by example. Mastering yourself is the beginning, but the real power of mastery is not just what it does for you, it's how it changes the people around you. Humans are social creatures. Whether you like it or not, you are constantly influencing others with your actions, words and presence. If you master yourself, you become an anchor in a chaotic world. People look at you differently. They listen differently. And without forcing it, you begin to lead. This chapter is about turning inner strength into outer impact, becoming someone others respect, trust and follow. 1. Why influence matters. No one succeeds alone. Even the most disciplined and resilient person needs networks, partnerships and opportunities. Influence creates those doors. A strong reputation attracts trust. Calmness in pressure earns respect. Consistency inspires followers. The person who cannot master themselves cannot lead others. But the one who has full control of their mind and actions naturally becomes magnetic. Influence starts with energy. Have you noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly shift the atmosphere? They haven't said a word, but their presence is felt. That is the silent power of influence. It comes from your emotional state. Calm people spread calm. Anxious people spread anxiety. Your body language, upright posture, steady breathing, and eye contact radiate confidence. Your inner alignment. People can sense if your words and actions match. Before influencing others, master your own energy. People don't follow what you say. They follow what you are. 3. Leadership without a title. Most think leadership comes from position or authority. But real leadership comes from influence, not a job title. A CEO who can't control their emotions loses respect. A quiet employee who consistently delivers excellence inspires the whole team. A parent who lives with integrity leads their children more than lectures ever could. Leadership is not something you are given. It is something you earn through mastery and consistency. 4. The psychology of influence. Psychologists, like Robert Cialdini, identified principles of influence that shape human behavior. Let's connect them with self-mastery. Consistency. People trust those who act the same way over time. Discipline builds credibility. Authority. Not by force, but by competence. When you've mastered yourself, people see you as capable. Social proof. Your habits inspire others to follow. When you stay calm in crisis, others copy it. Reciprocity. When you give respect, patience and honesty, people feel compelled to return it. Scarcity. True discipline is rare. People naturally value what is uncommon. Self-mastery makes you influential because it aligns with these timeless principles. 5. Stories of influence through self-mastery. Mahatma Gandhi. He had no political office, no weapons, no wealth. His power came from self-discipline, simplicity, and consistency. Millions followed because his life embodied his message. Marcus Aurelius. As a Roman emperor, he ruled one of the largest empires in history. But his leadership wasn't just power, it was his stoic mastery of self, recorded in meditations, that earned him lasting respect. Modern leaders, from athletes to entrepreneurs, the ones who rise are not the loudest, but the most consistent in behavior, vision and values. History proves influence flows from self-command. 6. The silent power of example. Words can inspire, but example, if you tell people to be disciplined, but live recklessly, no one will follow. If you want others to be calm but lose your temper constantly, your words are meaningless. But if you show consistency, patience, and courage, even your silence becomes powerful. People copy what they see more than what they hear. This is why self-mastery naturally spills into influence. 7. Building trust. The currency of influence. At the core of influence is trust. Without it, leadership collapses. With it, you can move mountains. Trust is built through reliability, doing what you say you'll do. Transparency. Being honest, even when it's hard. Emotional control. People trust leaders who don't break under pressure. Consistency. The same version of you shows up every time. The self-mastered person is trustworthy because they are not controlled by impulses or moods. 8. Influence in everyday life. Influence is not just for leaders, CEOs or public figures. It's everywhere. At work. When you stay calm during problems, coworkers trust you. In family. When you keep promises, children learn responsibility. In friendships. When you listen deeply, people feel valued. In society. When you show discipline, others silently feel challenged to rise higher. Every choice you make influences someone even when you don't notice. From control to contribution. Self-mastery turns inward focus into outward contribution. At first, you work on yourself to gain control. But once you're stable, the question becomes, how can I use this strength to serve others? The disciplined person can teach discipline. The calm person can diffuse conflict. The resilient person can help others endure hardship. This is the natural evolution. Mastery leads to influence, and influence leads to service. Daily practices to expand your influence. Here's how to practice influence intentionally. A. Align words and actions. Never say what you don't intend to do. Be the last to react. In stressful situations, breathe before responding. The calmest voice dominates the room. Lift others up. True influence is not about controlling people. It's about empowering them. Mentor quietly. Share lessons, not as lectures, but through living them. Influence grows, not when you demand it, but when you embody it. A11. Influence and responsibility. The more self-mastery you gain, the more influence you naturally acquire. But with that comes responsibility. People will watch how you act under pressure. Your words will carry more weight than before. Your mistakes will influence others, just as much as your strengths. This is why influence must always be grounded in integrity. Without it, mastery turns into manipulation. The long game of legacy. True influence is not about quick popularity. It's about leaving a legacy. Fame fades, but character endures. Money can buy attention, but not respect. Influence built on self-mastery can last for generations. When you lead yourself well, you plant seeds in others. Those seeds grow into habits, values and visions that continue long after you're gone. Chapter 7. Closing insight. Self-mastery is the root. Influence is the fruit. By commanding yourself, you become the kind of person others want to follow. Not by force, but by choice. And that is the highest form of leadership. Chapter 8. Creating lasting impact. From influence to legacy. Self-mastery gives you control over your own life. Influence extends that control into the lives of others. But the highest level of growth is not simply mastering yourself or inspiring people. It is building something that endures. This is where discipline, vision, and consistency transform into legacy. 1. Why legacy matters. Most people live day to day, barely looking past the next paycheck, deadline, or crisis. But the truly impactful few think in terms of decades. They ask, what will remain when I am gone? Will my presence have shaped lives or simply filled time? Am I building for the next generation, or only for myself? Legacy is not about statues, fame, or recognition. It is about creating systems, values, and contributions that keep working even when you are not there. From self to systems. When you control yourself, you lead yourself. When you influence others, you lead people. When you build systems, you lead the future. Systems multiply your impact because they outlast you. For example, a business with strong values continues long after its founder retires. A mentor's teachings ripple through students who pass them on. A book or piece of art inspires generations not yet born. The shift is clear. Discipline creates consistency. Consistency builds influence. And influence applied intentionally creates systems. 3. Building communities of strength. A single person with mastery can change themselves. A leader with influence can change people. But to build legacy, you must change communities. Communities form around shared values and visions. If you live with resilience, you attract people who want resilience. Live with clarity, you attract people who want clarity. Live with service, you attract people who want service. Soon it's not just you, but a network of individuals bound by shared discipline and focus, multiplying the change together. This is how movements begin. 4. Wealth as a tool for legacy. Wealth, when mastered, is not just about comfort, it's about capacity. Money amplifies your influence by giving you resources to fund projects that serve others, provide opportunities for those in need, build platforms that spread your message, support future generations with education and stability. But wealth without mastery becomes a prison. Wealth with mastery becomes a force multiplier. Financial freedom ensures that your legacy does not collapse when you are gone. It thrives. 5. The ripple effect of example. Think of legacy as ripples in water. When you throw a stone, it disturbs the surface, and circles spread outward. A parent breaks free from negative cycles. Their children grow up with new possibilities. A disciplined entrepreneur creates a business that feeds hundreds of families. A teacher's words change one student, who later changes a community. Each ripple is unseen at first, but over time it grows into waves. Your mastery and influence are stones. Legacy is the ripple. 6. The danger of fragile impact. Not all influence becomes legacy. Some people build empires of sand, massive but fragile. They lacked values. Without integrity, even the strongest system collapses. They built for ego. If your mission is self-glorification, it dies when you do. They neglected succession. If you don't pass on wisdom, the next generation starts from zero. The key to lasting impact is depth over speed, principles over popularity. 7. Scaling service beyond the self. Legacy is service multiplied. The question becomes, how can my discipline, values and vision help not just me? Examples: writing books, creating courses, or building organizations that share your knowledge, mentoring others who then mentor others, using technology to spread messages faster than your physical presence ever could. The test of legacy is this: if your work only lives when you are present, it's influence. If it thrives without you, it's legacy. It's legacy. Intergenerational mindset. True legacy thinkers live with the mindset of planting trees under whose shade they may never sit. They save and invest not just for retirement, but for children and grandchildren. They design businesses with structures that survive leadership transition. This mindset creates impact across decades. Your fingerprints remain in history. 9 daily habits that build legacy. Legacy is not built overnight. It is a series of daily practices compounded over years. Document your wisdom. Write, record, teach so your lessons are not lost. Invest in people. Mentor others. Build successors. Design repeatable systems. Don't rely on memory. Create structures that can run without you. Live your values. Your habits become the culture others inherit. Think long-term daily. Ask yourself, will this matter 10 years from now? Legacy is simply discipline, multiplied by time. 10 stories of enduring impact. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison, yet emerged with forgiveness and vision. His legacy was not just political freedom. It was a culture of reconciliation. Steve Jobs, though flawed, his obsession with design and vision left Apple creating products long after his death. Mother Teresa, she built institutions of service, so strong they continued her mission globally after she was gone. What unites them? Self-mastery, influence, and systems that outlived their lives. 11. The final transition. From success to significance. Success is what you achieve for yourself. Significance is what you build for others. Legacy is what continues without you. The self-mastered individual first seeks control, then builds influence, then creates impact. But the ultimate step is significance, leaving the world better than you found it. Chapter 8. Closing insight. The journey begins within, but it does not end there. Self-mastery gives you strength. Influence extends that strength outward. But legacy transforms strength into permanence. The disciplined life becomes more than a personal victory. It becomes a gift to generation. Chapter 9. The blueprint of legacy. Turning discipline into generational impact. Most people stumble through life chasing survival, comfort, or recognition. Few ever ask the question, what remains when I'm gone? This chapter is not about motivation. It is about engineering a framework for building influence that lasts across decades, even centuries. If Chapter 8 taught you why legacy matters, this chapter will show you how to build it. 1. The 4 pillars of legacy. Every lasting impact is built on 4 foundational pillars. Neglect any of them, and your legacy weakens. Master them, and you create something unshakable. Values. Your principles. The DNA of your legacy. Vision. A clear picture of what future you are shaping. Systems. Structures and strategies that keep your vision alive. Successors. People who will carry your vision forward. Let's break each down into actionable depth. 2. Pillar 1. Values. The unshakable core. Your values are not what you say. They are what you live. They determine whether your influence collapses or endures. Integrity. Without it, every achievement rots. Discipline. The engine that powers everything else. Service. The only reason legacies matter at all. Action step. Write down 3 non-negotiable values that you want your life to be remembered for. Then align every decision with them. That's 2. Pillar 2. Vision. The blueprint for tomorrow. A legacy without vision is like a building without architecture. It falls apart. Generational vision. What do you want your children, community, or followers to inherit? Global vision. What contribution do you want to make to humanity itself? Action step. Write a 50-year letter. Imagine you are at the end of your life. Write a letter to the world describing what you built, who you helped, and how the world is better because of you. 4. Pillar 3. Systems. Legacy that runs without you. Influence dies when it depends only on your presence. Legacy thrives when you create systems. Examples of systems. A business with processes that run without the founder. A foundation that funds projects automatically through endowments. A curriculum or philosophy written clearly enough to teach beyond your lifetime. Action step. Choose one area of your life, business, family, personal growth, and document your system. Write it so clearly that a stranger could continue it tomorrow. 4. Pillar 4. Successors. Passing the torch. The most powerful legacies are carried by people. Without successors, everything ends with you. That's mentorship. Invest in people who will carry your vision. Succession planning. Identify who will take over your roles. Cultural transfer. Ensure your values and principles are lived, not just spoken. Action step. Identify 3 people you can begin mentoring immediately. Share your knowledge, habits, and philosophy with them. 6. The legacy ladder. Levels of impact. There are 5 levels of legacy, each higher than the last. At self-mastery. Controlling your own mind and life. Influence. Inspiring and leading others. Wealth and resources. Building capacity to scale your impact. Systems and institutions. Creating structures that endure. Generational impact. Leaving principles and assets that last beyond your lifetime. Ask yourself daily, what level of the ladder am I climbing right now? 7. The 10 habits of legacy builders. Here are the daily disciplines of those who build lasting impact. Think in decades, not days. Write more than you speak. Ideas last longer in Invest in assets, not just income. Teach what you know. That's mentor at least one person consistently. Build structures that run without you. Spend time reflecting, not just working. Stay healthy. Legacy requires longevity. Document failures so others can learn. Ask daily, what will outlast me? That's Eat. Obstacles to legacy. Not everyone builds legacy. Here are the traps to avoid. That's short-term thinking. Chasing immediate pleasure at the cost of long-term impact. Ego. Building for recognition instead of contribution. Neglecting successors. Failing to teach others. Forcing the next generation to start from zero. Lack of systems. Leaving everything in your head, not in a structure others can use. Real-life legacy frameworks. Andrew Carnegie built libraries worldwide, systems of education beyond his lifetime. Maya Angelou left behind writings that continue shaping minds. Warren Buffett built wealth structured to fund causes long after his death. Each of them followed the 4 pillars: values, vision, systems, successors. 10. Designing your legacy blueprint. Step by step. Here's a practical roadmap you can follow. Eat. Define your core values. Choose 3. 3. Craft your 50-year vision. Write the future letter. Create one system. Document a process someone else can continue. That's Identify successors. Begin mentoring immediately. Build assets. Financial, intellectual, cultural. Transfer culture. Live your values daily so they spread naturally. Review yearly. Ask, am I building influence or legacy? 11. The inner reward of legacy. Building legacy is not just about others. It transforms you. When you live for something greater than yourself, you gain clarity. Decisions become easier. You gain peace. Your life has purpose. You gain power. Discipline fuels momentum. Legacy is not a burden. It is the deepest freedom. Chapter 9. Closing insight. Legacy is not left by chance. It is built by design. Through values, vision, systems and successors, you create a blueprint that turns your discipline into influence, and your influence into impact that endures. When your time comes, people may forget your name, but they will never forget the systems, values and opportunities you created. That is true immortality. Chapter 10. The Life Manifesto. Living with power, purpose and legacy. You've walked through the battles of the mind, the struggle of self-discipline, the practice of emotional control, and the blueprint of legacy. Now it's time for the final piece, a manifesto for life. This chapter is not meant to be read once and forgotten. It is meant to be lived daily. Think of it as the rulebook for the game of life, a framework that transforms discipline into power, power into influence, and influence into eternal impact. 1. The 3 levels of victory. True success operates in 3 levels of victory. Victory over self, mastering your mind, emotions and habits. Victory over circumstances, turning challenges into stepping stones. Victory over time, creating something that outlives you. Most people stop at the first level. Some reach the second. Few ever achieve the third. But your life's mission is to conquer all 3. The commandments of a disciplined life. Here are 12 unbreakable laws. The commandments of those who live with power and purpose. Control your mornings. Control your life. Protect your mind. Thoughts shape destiny. Move daily. Health is the foundation of power. Invest. Don't just spend time, energy, money. Choose growth over comfort every single time. Speak less, execute more. Surround yourself with builders, not destroyers. Write daily. Clarity comes from reflection. Serve first. Success follows. Delay pleasure to multiply reward. Document systems. Teach others to win. Think legacy, not ego. If you live by these, life bends in your favor. 3. The discipline of mind. Your mind is a battlefield. If you win here, everything else becomes possible. Guard input. What you watch, read and listen to programs your future. Rewire negativity. Replace I can't with I will learn. Focus power. 1 hour of deep work beats 10 hours of distraction. Daily silence. 10 minutes of reflection trains clarity and control. Action step. Write down 3 negative thoughts you constantly battle. For each, craft a positive replacement statement. Repeat them until they rewire your subconscious. 4. The discipline of body. A weak body weakens the mind. Legacy requires longevity. Movement. Daily exercise. Not for appearance, but energy. Fuel. Eat to perform, not just to enjoy. Recovery. Sleep is a weapon. Rest sharpens clarity. Consistency over intensity. Small, daily habits beat occasional bursts. Action step. Design a non-negotiable 30-minute daily routine. Walk, stretch, push-ups or weights. Never break it. 5. The discipline of time. Time is your only currency. Waste it, and everything collapses. The rule of 68. You have like 68 hours a week. Budget them like money. Priority over busyness. Ask daily, what's the one thing that matters most today? Energy zones. Do your hardest work in your peak hours. Eliminate thieves. Cut toxic habits, people and distractions. Action step. Track your time for 1 week. Identify the top 20% of activities that give 80% of results. Double down on them. That view pulled 6. The discipline of wealth. Money is not evil. It is a multiplier. With it, you build freedom, influence, and legacy. Save first. Spend last. Invest in assets, not toys. Create multiple streams of income. That build systems that make money while you sleep. Action step. Set aside at least 20% of every income source. Use it only for investments that build wealth, not liabilities. 7. The discipline of relationships. The people you keep are the mirrors of your future. Choose builders. Surround yourself with people who expand you. Mentor and be mentored. Always teach someone. Always learn from someone. Love without weakness. Be kind, but never compromise your standards. Cut with courage. Remove anyone who drains your growth. Action step. List the 5 people you spend most time with. Do they reflect your future or your past? Adjust immediately. The discipline of influence. Power is not what you hold. It is what you give. Influence is legacy in action. Teach what you know. Document your philosophy. Build systems that outlive you. Mentor successors who carry your fire. Action step. Start documenting your lessons today. A journal, a book, a course, or a system. Something others can inherit. 9. The discipline of legacy. Discipline without legacy is wasted. Everything must point towards something that endures. Value your values. Don't just state them. Embody them. Build structures, institutions, businesses, or philosophies that survive you. Transfer culture. Teach people your values until they carry them naturally. Think generationally. Plant seeds today that feed your great-grandchildren. Action step. Write your legacy blueprint. Your top 3 values. Your 50-year vision. Your first successor or mentee. Your one enduring system or structure. 10. The ultimate daily manifesto. Here is the daily creed. Recite it. Live it. Today I master myself before I master the world. Today I choose discipline over distraction. Today I invest in what multiplies tomorrow. Today I build people, not just profits. Today I think in decades, not days. Today I act with purpose, not impulse. Today I add 1 brick to my legacy. But remember this truth. Knowledge without execution is wasted potential. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It never comes. Begin today. Build discipline like steel. Protect your mind like treasure. Multiply wealth like seed. Teach others like a mentor. And every day, live as though your actions echo into eternity. Your life is your message. Write it with courage, discipline and purpose. That is how you win. Not just now but forever.